Hello there. It's 2v2 time. I'm on this map again, heavy artillery. But in this vid, I want to kind of mention a bit about preparations and how you deal for when you're up against a random player. So when you're up against a Zerg and you have a non-Zerg, you want to wall. And on this map, the wall in place is basically there because it allows you to have the 5 home bases. If you wall at the top of the ramp, obviously the top of the ramp's easier, and if you get pressured heavily, then yes, you go to the top of that ramp. But otherwise, this gives the defending player 2 bases and the macro player 3 bases. As I've previously said, in every map, the position that you spawn in basically dictates your role. This is in a game of kind of evens, in a game of even players. Obviously, if someone's much better, then they're more likely to take the lead on X, Y, or Z. So, Kadesh here, he has the front door, so it's his job to defend. I have the macro bases, i.e. I've got 3 bases, he's got 2. It's my job to build up to the kind of mid and late game armies. Having said that, you still need to adhere to the normal timings. Okay, we've seen that it's Terran and Zerg, so I don't need to worry about oracles. Normally you do. If it's just a random, you have to be prepared for every kind of harass that could come. Which is why I give little sympathy to 1v1 players who go, oh, I don't know the race, this guy's random, I don't know the race. Because in 2v2s, very often you have to prepare for 2 races at the very least. Yeah, I know it's because I'm talking that I'm not getting everything done that I should get done. You may notice that I've rallied my main to my nat and there's only 13 out of 16 on my main. This is because every mule out of the 3 bases will go onto the main. And there's a reason for that, and I can get into that reason later. But it's a mathematical, economical kind of reason. Right now I do need to concentrate on getting up to the 2 factories and the armory, because we want to be prepared for the Zerg attacks. 5 minutes 30, but really realistically 6 minutes is when we're looking at mutas. So I need to have the armory ready, and preferably actually a Thor on the way by that time. But you see, obviously right now we don't know. Could be a big Roach Ravager thing, could be mutas. Yes, possibly we should scout, but who knows. That's only an indication of they've both got 2 bases. Because they got a Zerg, it's not unreasonable to assume that he's got a 3rd. Yeah, I know, I click on a lot of things, and that's one thing that I need to get sorted in my game, that I use the hotkeys. But it's not really part of my MO. Alright, at the moment the front door is reasonably tight, so I'm not really going to mess with that. I should have rallied to the 3rd sooner, because as you can see I got 1 too many workers here. This is where I'll put the extra starports. As previously mentioned, in every map, in every location, I basically have set out where I have whatever production. And if you have a back base, that's basically where you put the starports, because those units fly and they don't need to walk through the base. You put the factories as far as you can to the front, and the barracks can go in the middle. Now what I mean is there's basically a prioritization of factories need best access. and sorry, yeah, it's a little bit slow there. Factory needs best access, and starport needs worst access. That's the way it works out. Did I build my second armory? Yes, lovely. Get those upgrades done, and now we just want to prevent. So it looks like the Terran's mecking, but we can't be sure. So I'll get the extra star points. Always nice against a BC, and I'm going to just put a couple of turrets there. As you can see, I have the spare resources to be able to do that. Now I'm going to wall off here because I am going to open those rocks, but more than open those rocks. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to open those rocks, and then of course I need to have them walled off in case of like Ling run-bys and the like.
Add-on complete. Not enough.
So my main, as you can see, is running low. And I can transfer workers again. I need more factories, and I will put them by the front, in particular when the gold base has floaten off. That base that I'm building at the front, this one is for the gold. And that's a cloud emitter. And we got one for here, building another one, get some mines, whoops, get the mine upgrade, get a couple of liberators, spare turrets. And as a general rule, muters are pretty damn useless. Just going to keep that there. So now that I know he's got muters, I know, yeah, we won easy peasy. It's like... Well, you see, in a 1v1, muters can be countered by a few different ways, but in 2v2, because we got the two races, they can be countered in double the number of ways. So, like, I countered them with a Thor, and my partner's got some Phoenix, right, which all ends in the muters doing no damage. Yeah, they caused me to cancel a turret, okay, so fair enough. That was worth 20 muters. Okay, now I need to get the extra factories done. So it's a matter of balancing what you know is going to come. You don't know that they're going to do that, but you prepare just in case they are. Balancing what's going to happen. Now you can be more active with scouting, and and actually get confirmation on everything. I just tend to deal with the percentages. At any rate, so we know that the Terran's going mech, and even though we see no Terran structures, we're saying he's going BCs and Thors. Okay. I know you might consider it a stupid thing to say. Do you want me to scan? Do you want me to scan and show you? You see, if he was a bio Terran, if he was coming bio, he would have been doing more bio stuff by now. Sometimes it is just as simple as that. Because you don't see something, it means that something else exists. So I got a bunch of libs. I do need like 2 more Thors and then a bunch of tanks. Mainly because you know that he's gonna have a lot of tanks himself and gonna have a lot of Vikings, because tank Viking is back in a big way. It's a Wings of Liberty strat that was really strong back then, and it's back in a big way now, in TVT in particular, and of course I'm Terran. what it does is basically the Vikings handle anything in the air, the tanks handle anything on the ground.
Additional support.
It's not a complicated strat, and that's kind of why it's making the comeback.
Mineral field depleted.
Now I don't need to make any more workers because I got these macro CCs. When my tanks come out, I can make a bit of a push. Okay, so I'm totally wrong. That's a Bio-Terran. And he's got 2-2 on his bio. This happens, by the way. It does happen. I can be wrong. I have been wrong. And in this case, I'm wrong.
Mineral field.
There's no two ways about it. Now I've got my choice. Do I siege up my libs?
Moving into position.
Command center upgrade.
Or do I use them to kill the mutas?
Our allies are being
Right now I'm going to use them to kill the mutas. Watch this. So they don't have any mutas anymore. Which makes life a lot simpler. If there ever was a demonstration for why when they go muta they basically just choose to give up the game, that's it.
mineral field depleted.
A little bit laggy for that.
Upgrade. Research complete. Upgrade. Base is under attack.
Oops. Oops. So losing 1 base, 2 base, 3 base or 4 base is not the end of the world here.
Our allies are being attacked.
These hopefully will get the Vikings. I got a siege up there now so that they're sieged up when the bio comes. Oops. A little bit late on that. Storms, love it. So that happened. And then I gotta rebuild the gold.
Is under attack. Add-on complete.
You don't need to watch the fight. We kind of know what's happening and what's going to happen. Where's my extra tanks? Oh, upgrades. You can put that on your number 4,
Base is under attack.
but you know, in all honesty, who can stand up to charge loss? I just do this to keep the bio away from my tanks. It doesn't matter if I lose some workers, because you know I've got macro CCs, so you know it kind of helps me reduce the worker count now.
Mineral field.
Because I got meals for everything else. So now I'm just going to build lots of tanks. I got lots of reactors. So I'm going to get Hellions after that. A couple of Banshees. Bit of a worker transfer. And you know, bringing a massive army into a choke reduces the impact of a massive army. Essentially is the main thing that they did wrong there. So I'm going to get a few Vikings because he will have Vikings, so I'll get a few for his.
Mineral field depleted.
I'm now just going to go kill him. I mean, my partner's been ready to kill him for a while. He's just eased off so that I still have some enjoyment in the game.
Bad news? Will do. We hear you.
And that's that. All you need to do is have your partner reasonably aware of the... Oh, he took my gas. What a swine. A partner who's reasonably aware of what's happening in the game. If he's still bio, he's just so dead, it's ridiculous.
Ready to blunder.
I don't have control here, but...
Our allies are being attacked.
So, that happened. Guess what's about to happen? Yep. That happened as well. Yeah, we know.